Blake and Brent, how you doing today?
We're doing good right here at the third phase of Moon Base. What we wanted to talk about was 3 disclosures in one day. Wow, that's amazing. World news event, 3 disclosures in one day. Let's get to the first one. 50 years after the assassination of President John F. Kennedy in Dallas, researchers are still investigating this mysterious murder. So, now there are some unsealed files that are not coming out right now after many years after the JFK assassination. What are they trying to hide? Did Oswald do it? Why are they still keeping secrets? It should have been out already 40 years ago.
You know, you're absolutely correct there. And there are several times where there's a court order that will bind documents to be hidden for 50 years. For instance, Elvis Presley's documents are going to be released soon, 50 years after his death. Now, why these are still being withheld and some being released, I don't know, because the public, the U.S. public, deserves to know what happened to the U.S. president. It wasn't a private individual killed, it was a public figure. So that's where the dichotomy is. But the fact that they disclosed something, something new, is what makes this an important fact. Isn't that right?
Well, the fact is that Jefferson Morley from the Washington Post reporter currently is suing the CIA to release the data. And he's most interested in the file containing about 300 pages and now is deceased, a CIA agent. George Donatus, Morley believes, may have had contact with suspected assassin Lee Harvey Oswald prior to the shooting and later served as Langley's liaison for a JFK assassination investigation in 1970s. Absolutely amazing. And again, 3 disclosures in one day. Again, Princess Diana was... Go ahead.
Let me add in that for all the listeners out there, the Warren panel, which was led by Justice Warren at the time to oversee the investigation following Kennedy's death, when it released its findings, right after they did their investigation, many people were not satisfied with the conclusion. Many people looked at things like the magic bullet. There have even been whole documentaries about it. So the fact that this is being at issue today is not surprising. And the fact that this gentleman that's suing to get these documents released from the CIA is an ongoing battle for several things, but specifically for this, because of the Warren panel not having the right conclusion, because they're covering up. That's at least the implication.
Dodi Fayed and Princess Diana left their hotel room and an accident happened. Was it an accident? Was it, like people say, the conspiracy that they were assassinated because they didn't like a proper princess dating a Muslim? What is the question? What is the answer? We're trying to find out. Brent Cousin has a comment right here.
Not only were they trying to disrupt a relationship between a Muslim and a Brit, Princess Diana was pregnant. And that would upset the system today. Could you imagine the world today with Princess Diana having a Muslim son or daughter? How she would interpret the world and maybe make peace and enlightening the people on, hey, we're just all the human race. Hey, let's get over it. Let's get over religion. Let's get over our self-prejudice against people. And she was taken out for that particular reason, I believe.
I also want to add, that comment makes so much sense. And this is ironic. When I was actually in the UK in 2006, there was another inquisition over Diana's death, led by the father of the man she was dating, who happens to be was the heir to one of the largest fortunes in the UK, with one of the largest stores chains there. And this makes sense. Recently, when this new baby was born, baby George, I believe, by William and Kate, the news did an expose on all the heirs to the throne, and they basically said this baby pushed William's brother down to fourth rather than second in line, or third. It took his spot. And then they went on to say, in case you know, or in case you want to know, after this baby there are over 30 heirs to the throne. If something should happen, such as the movie King Ralph, where everybody was killed in some sort of accident and they were looking for the long lost one, the last one would have been the Queen's cousin. And like you said, Diana was pregnant. If she was pregnant with a child would have been a prince. A prince would have been an heir. Even if it was a princess, with these new laws that they pass now, it doesn't have to be a male that takes the throne. It could be the firstborn female. And that's why there was so much hype of this last baby, of its sex, whether it was a baby boy or baby girl. But nonetheless, I think that statement that you said, Brett, hits the nail on the head.
The conspiracy behind the death of JFK and Princess Diana will continuously go on for generations, and it's unfortunate that the truth doesn't get out. And Brent did make an amazing statement. Why don't we just all, as a world, as a human race, just get along and move on for the future of mankind altogether? More secrets being revealed in one day, and the conspiracy still goes on. Area 51 continuously fascinates the world, and now the CIA acknowledges, through documents released this week, refer by the name of Area 51, acknowledging of existence of America's most secret, top secret base. Now, again, 3 disclosures in one day. What's happening in the world? I think the government is starting to backtrack, and they're putting it out before Snowden releases it, WikiLeaks releases it, Third Phase of Moon releases it. It's interesting. We put out information in regards to Area 51, and the next day it's all over the news that they admit it exists.
It's not a dispute of whether alternative media such as YouTube and channels such as Third Phase of Moon are having a huge impact around the world, and that's just evidenced by all the millions, I think over 70 million views right now of the videos, which goes to show that the interest in the people out there. Now, the Area 51 being released is a huge thing, although the government a few years ago acknowledged, that was the key word, acknowledged a secret installation, a military installation in that location without releasing its name. This time they officially said yes, it's Area 51 and it's a super secret military base, Air Force base, so much so that the U.S. Air Force released a statement saying they will not release any details on what goes on there. I think this is one of the biggest things, and here's why. In 1989, Bob Lazar came forward with his story of working at S4 on Area 51 on back-engineered alien technology. And he also claims to have seen an alien. This was also evidenced by another man, Dr. Dan Burrish. But back with Bob Lazar, when he got fired from his job for basically telling his friends, he had a lawsuit because he signed a 10-year imprisonment and $10,000 fine document, which was standard for military secrets at the time. And he went to court to prove his employment, and the court, he could not prove it because they would not accept the existence of the base. Recently, though, there have been several men that were hurt because of the toxic fumes that came out of the base. And apparently they said they dug football field-sized trenches, poured all their exotic chemicals, parts, and poured jet fuel on them and burned them when they didn't want these things thrown in the trash and received by the Soviets or whatever was being looked on. And the people that were around these toxic fumes that were emanating from this inferno were all sick, and there's been an ongoing lawsuit. And that was actually one of the big things quoted in CBS because of the release of the Area 51. But like you said, what's happening? 3 major conspiracies that were always going on for years, all of a sudden now are coming to a somewhat of a close. This comes something David Wilcock recently said of, he believes that the fall of the Illuminati is starting to fall. And, you know, I'm not a prediction kind of guy at all, and I know Third Phase of the Moon is not too, but this is very coincidental, at least, to the very least. Wouldn't you say?
I would say during the Vietnam era and Agent Orange, they try to keep this a secret. It finally got out. Veterans got what they deserved, and now they have settled in their own way. And unfortunately, the people that worked at Area 51 may be going down the same path of trying to be compensated for the poisoning that they've gone through over there at Area 51, besides what else was what's going on. And as we mentioned right here at Third Phase of the Moon, the congressman, the president, Third Phase of the Moon, we want to get on location on Third Phase of the Moon within the base and see what's going on. Dr. J. Andy Elias, I really appreciate you being here, and we're going to continuously update right here at Third Phase of the Moon.
That's right, Blake. Thank you again.
And if anybody out there has captured anything amazing in regards to UFOs or drones, inside information, you could contact Third Phase of the Moon via Skype or Facebook. My name's Blake Cousins, and we'll see everybody again next time